Hey, greetings, everybody around the world and game changers across the world. Thank you for tuning into this broadcast today. And we got a really fire subject today that we're going to talk with you guys about that has just been in our hearts. And we're going to stay really on just the topic of talking about America, Anthony. And I really think it's a burning thing that's in both of us. So why don't you drop the topic here?
Man, today's title, America, the New Frontier. And I think this is just extremely appropriate for where we're at right now. Obviously, if you know your history, as they were doing the westward expansion in the 1800s, they called it the New Frontier as well.
Yeah.
But we have a different type of New Frontier in this season, and it comes from a spiritual expansion where we're seeing the kingdom of God taking over America. And I would say taking it back, but I want to say taking it over because I feel like this is going to be a different expression of God where we're going to see a complete overflow. And I think that's where we're at, man. And it shows from the top down right now.
Yes. And this is why also to all of our audience, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to Game Changers because we are going to continue to bring the heat with truth and subjects that realistically, a lot of people don't want to touch. And I think that's what changes the game. We're here for it, right? So, make sure you're following YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and really just making sure that you're staying up to date because, there's a lot of lying media out there.
It's extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Even with Trump being in office, we're still fighting against. That's the other thing. The deep state, man, they are really scared of what happened.
One thing, Matt, it's frustrating because the lengths they're willing to go to destroy someone's life, all for the purpose of the fact that they just don't want him to reveal and expose what they've been doing this whole time. And really, that's been committing crimes against humanity. It's been acting in treasonous ways against the U.S., acting in their own self-interest, and a massive cover-up of a criminal enterprise. But it's not going to work.
No, it's not. And I think, that's where my encouragement would be to Christians and Americans across the world is to not get worried, not be in fear because, look at what God has already done and look what he's even, pushed President Trump through, in this season. I mean,
God, almost killed him.
Exactly. Killed him. I mean, they've, tried to impeach him and did impeach him, like everything.
They tried to shoot the man on a golf course. Like, what?
Yeah. And I mean, that too, even after the Butler, Pennsylvania. Yes. Then you got, obviously the mugshot, all that kind of stuff. All the,
was it 34 indictments, right?
Yeah.
Or something. It was ridiculous.
I mean, everything. And they were trying to come up with a subpoena for everything. I mean, legitimately. So when you look at those things, it's a thing that you have to sit back and really reflect of like, man, God has really got us through a lot of stuff 100%. Because of our prayers and our fight. But I think you have to understand that, the fight is not over.
Right.
So we have to keep fighting. And, if we're going to have this frontier that we are declaring and that we're wanting, we have to understand that, listen, we need to be the ones that are undergirding the man that's sitting in the land.
That's good.
Who God has. And so, ultimately, like, that's the biggest thing for me is I just want to see this nation never stop, like, fighting for their freedoms and fighting because there always are going to be evil people. There's always going to be the next batch of people that don't like what's going on. Yeah. That's culture. That's the world, that we live in. And then we have Satan, who is the author of confusion, right? He wants to bring negativity, evil, and whatever he can to try to disrupt the plans that God has.
And can we take a moment, though, to just appreciate how Satan is $20 million in debt after spending $1.5 billion to try and win an election?
Yeah.
You spend $100 million a week and you can't win? Actually, you get swept.
Yeah.
You got swept.
Yeah. Well, you're talking, because, look at it, though, with the
Satan's campaign.
Yeah. 100%.
Harris Waltz, yes.
Yeah. But you know what's so cool, too? Speaking of getting swept, GOP, we have the trifecta. So, the House and the Senate, huge. Because, I heard somebody say, if you have the president in, but then, a House and a Senate, the Congress doesn't support him.
Correct.
It's tough.
It makes it really hard.
And so, you know, that's the other thing. Why in 2026 it'll be so important that we make sure we retain, you know, the House and the Senate, because look back in Trump's first term, after those first 2 years, that's kind of when we started seeing things really start to try to like nosedive and take a hit.
Yeah.
That's when the whole like scamdemic, plandemic stuff came out. You know, all of that stuff started to go downhill. The riots, everything. I mean, January 6th, like, was starting right at the end of Trump's, you know, first term, and then after the election with him and Biden, and like, which he honestly on the first day, 100% should get all of those people that were falsely accused from January 6th completely out.
And I heard that was one of his
Exonerated,
initiatives that he was going to
100%.
do.
And then we need to bring the Epstein and Diddy list back out. So,
Please.
like, let's
We
have that conversation.
Let's get this over with, because you're
Yes.
dealing with people's lives that have been ruined. You've got people that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
You've got people that are presumably dead because of this trafficking ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it connects all the way back to Hollywood. So now you've got these childhood actors. You
Yes.
always find them end up just having terrible adult lives.
Yes.
And you realize
Yes.
that it's because of all of whatever's been going on. So that needs to be exposed and that needs to be corrected. But I want to go back to something you were
Yeah,
just
go ahead.
talking about when you were talking about when things started to go downhill when you had the plandemic of 2020. Is, if you notice, Matt, the biggest issues where we saw government overreach was at the local levels. So your cities, city council just
yep.
saying, oh, or actually not even your city council. It was like
Even school boards.
it'd be like
though.
your resident physician was like, oh, I think we should just
Yeah.
shut down, you know, the city of Omaha. And everyone's like, okay.
Well, school
Wait a
boards.
second.
Think about all that
The school
too.
boards at your
Yeah.
state level, you know, them enforcing certain bans where you can't travel across state
yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
This is important because you just mentioned the number of seats that will be up in 2026. We also
Yes.
have to think about this and be vigilant at the local level, because you have mayors, you have judges, you
Yes.
have council seats, you have board of education, you have various people at the local level that you need to take a hard look at and remember from 2020. Were these the people that fought for my freedoms, or were they the ones keeping me
That's so
locked up
good.
in my room,
Yes.
in my house, keeping me from going to school, keeping my church closed? So we
Threaten
need to
have
keep that.
me or people that I know arrested.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Oh yeah, or did you guys have the hotline in my city for my neighbors to call and tell on me when I had 5 people over at my house for Thanksgiving?
Yes.
So we
But
need
yet
to,
a whole city could celebrate a sports championship with thousands of people.
or could burn down certain areas
There,
of the
that
city.
too. Yeah.
Let's talk about that. It reminds me of the game Oregon Trail. Not that part. The game Oregon
Dude, I
Trail,
remember that.
where
Remember that
you know
game.
you could decide to settle in a certain space,
Yeah.
or you could keep going.
Yes.
So this is the part, folks, where in this new frontier, you know, we have the Midwest because people, let's be honest, people settled. They said it was good here, and we're
Yeah.
not going to go all the way to California.
Yeah.
We've got to continue to go the distance.
Yeah.
This is not the time to get complacent. This is not the time
good.
when things turn around, because they will, and the economy is good again. You get your job back. You get your salary back. You get your 401k back. You get, I don't know, you're able to, you know, afford 2 vehicles again. You know, you're able to get that house you've always wanted. Don't settle there. Don't say, you know what, I'm good.
Mhm.
I don't need to worry about anything else. No, we have to keep investing and pushing forward into the future. And this, I think, Matt, is our chance. God has given us a second
100%.
chance to do what our founding fathers
Yeah.
wanted us to initially do.
Well, yeah, and then we can go over even that list of that Trump had done while being the president-elect for only 2 days. I mean,
You
within
should-
2
you should
yeah,
bring that up.
yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
we'll put this graphic up, but I mean, okay. So one thing we know is right now for the average American to afford a house, they need to be making $125,000 a year.
Yep.
To afford a house in America, the average American. I remember back when Trump was in office that, I mean, people looked at it as like 6 figures was like a massive salary. I mean, think about it. Like
It was.
most people could just live off like 80, 90,000 a year or 70, some of them. If you're fine, especially if you're single, like
Yeah.
you're making 60, 70,000 a year
Exactly.
or 80,000, like you're living pretty comfortably. Now it's like, oh, just to afford a house, you need 125,000.
Yeah.
So Biden inflation. Okay.
100%.
You know what I mean? So with Trump here and just being the president-elect for 2 days. Now, this came out literally, like I think it was the November 7th, so just right after the election. Check this out. The stock market hit a record high. Migrant caravan at our border dissolves. Hamas calls for end to war. Bitcoin hits record high. How about that?
Man.
Putin ready to end Ukraine war. Qatar kicks out Hamas leaders. EU will buy U.S. gas, not Russian gas. Putin will sell oil in U.S. dollars. Zelensky phones Trump and Elon Musk. New York City mayor ends vouchers for illegals. Mexico to stop migrants at U.S. border. China wants to work peacefully with the U.S. How about that one? Big U.S. company to move out of China.
I mean, it's amazing how immediate this effect is when you have the rightful person occupying a position that, quite frankly,
it's a healthy
was
fear.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why? Because he's supposed to be there.
Well, he runs America like a business.
I was a businessman doing business.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
like it's a supply and demand type of country, right? And we really, he runs this like a business, not a dictatorship. That is why we don't live in socialism, in Marxism, in communism. It is a capitalist nation.
Yep.
That is what we are supposed to live in. That is how it was founded by our founding fathers. And Trump understands that. And I think America, like conservatives and even some people that were left, saw that it got so far left. And they're like, okay, I'm voting Trump now for the first time in my life. Hello, California, where most of those counties were voted in red. It is astronomically different here in 2024 than it was in 2016. So you look at it, it's a capitalist nation.
Right.
So legitimately, you're seeing people that are so far on the left that are having these weird socialist, Marxist, ideas. And it's funny how they want to frame Trump as being like Hitler, but yet the people on the left are exactly like Hitler.
They're projecting.
Like
yeah.
legitimately.
They're
So,
projecting.
yeah.
Well, when you said Trump is running America like a business, that's what I think people are discounting about him. He's a successful businessman.
Yes.
And
who they all loved, by the way, before he decided to run for president.
weird. Yeah. Weird how he was kind of like the icon
of America.
Of the culture.
People
of
bought his
America.
shirts.
Yep.
Okay,
But now he's on the other side. They hate him. But here's what people need to understand. It's not hard economically to prosper in America, except for when you put in policies and people who have awful policies, like you were saying, that contradict the fabric of the way America was run. So what you're going to look at with Trump coming into office is you're going to look at someone who knows how to incentivize the producers. He knows how to incentivize the business people. He knows to incentivize the people that create goods and services that provide jobs for everyone else.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do is that's going to cause a massive surplus. Everyone's going to benefit because now, by him wanting to put America first, you're going to look at more of your goods and services produced in America.
Yeah.
Which, what does that mean? It keeps money in your pocket.
It's my money, and I need it now!
This globalization movement that you're pushing for has nothing to do with cost efficiency.
Oh, the
it has
globalists.
everything to do with weakening America from an economic financial standpoint because they realize with America out of the way, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
But we're the gatekeeper.
Yep.
And I don't mean that from a, like you're saying, like a totalitarian mindset. I say that from, as America goes, so does the rest of the world.
100%.
And so
100%.
what you're going to see is once Trump's back in and you start to see these policies take effect that he's wanting to push, like, for example, we were just talking about this off the air, lowering taxes to just do a flat tax rate. That's going to put, what Jacob said, I think 25% roughly back into your pocket.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine what you could do with an extra 25% of your income coming back to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a ripple effect that's going to resound across not just the nation, but the world. And people have a hard time believing that because they bought into this rhetoric like you were talking about.
It's crazy.
But it's nonsense. It's literally nonsense. Like, okay, Kamala Harris, I'm going to give you $25,000 to buy a house. That has nothing to do with supply and demand. What you have done is you've just ineffectively added, or effectively, I should say, added $25,000 to the price of houses. So I'm glad the nonsense is over with.
Yeah.
Because people, even the ones who voted against Trump, are going to see, oh, wow, this was actually for my benefit. And to prove that, Pastor Matt, I just saw a headline that said for the first time in over 3 years, gas prices nationally will be under $3
Yeah.
by Thanksgiving is what they're projecting. It could be roughly after that. But you've seen a 10%
premium even?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've seen a 10% drop
Yeah.
in gas prices since Trump was elected.
Yeah.
How is that not good?
Yeah, exactly.
You can shave your head and proclaim abstinence all you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Yes.
money talks.
Yes.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean,
And I approve this message.
And that's the thing is, money does talk. And the thing about it is, think about it this way: how could anybody vote for stuff that is more expensive? I don't understand people's brains. Feelings, yeah.
Everyone's in their feels.
You can't complain about not making it in life, but then vote for that. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
I'm sorry, the way you said it is like it's ridiculous, but that's what
It's a
we're
fact,
trying to
man.
do.
Like,
That's what people are trying to do.
It's 1 + 1. It's so easy to talk about. Like,
wow.
people in elementary school would understand this, right? I mean, and we have adults who just can't seem to fathom it or get it in their brains.
Which one is not like the other?
Like, I feel like we starting our own Schoolhouse Rock here, like legitimately.
We need to
teaching about the legislative branch.
Yes,
and
I'm
all
just
of it,
a
the
bill.
judicial.
We need to bring that back.
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
a bill.
I'm just a bill.
Everybody needs to go back and watch that from Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah.
Our politicians. This is how it works.
Yeah, but legitimately, like, it's crazy the amount of people that, want to vote for open borders and the
Can we stop there real quick?
yeah.
Okay, open borders. Now, you have a very nice house. Do you have gates around your yard? Do you have a gate?
No.
A fence?
No. Well, I have a fence. Yes,
Okay.
I have fence.
Do you
yes.
have a front door?
Yes.
Do you have a garage door?
Yes.
Okay, so why do we have open borders?
I have cameras even.
So if you're unwilling to just let people walk into your house,
Right.
why are we willing to allow millions of people walk across our borders?
That's my thing, and I mean, honestly, and I hate when people call it like, well, America's a racist country because they don't allow illegals to like walk freely in the country. And I would respond back like exactly with what you said. Would you allow a random person to just walk in your home and unannounced?
Right.
And oh, nice. You guys are making steaks tonight? Okay, let me have
let
one.
me have some.
Let me have some. Or they just come start taking stuff right on the
Filling up their
counter.
plate, yeah.
Like, no. Would you let some random person come in and start messing with, your TV, or wanting to, here's another one. People are very protective over their kids. Oh, would you let some random person come in and start playing with the toys or Legos that your son or daughter is playing with? No. Well, you're letting people with those mindsets into our country illegally,
Take
by
our
the way.
tax dollars,
So
yes.
here's what I would say. You're doing something illegally. So would you, okay, if you're poor, does that give you the right to illegally rob a bank because, oh, I couldn't survive and I needed a meal tonight? No, you did something illegally. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you ask the bank legally for a loan, that's legal. Okay? So why can you not just enter the country legally? Go through the process that America has legally. And it absolutely is mind-boggling how people view stuff. Would you want somebody to hotwire your car and drive it because, oh, I didn't have a car? You're sitting somewhere in a restaurant and you don't know what's going on with your car out there and they're hotwiring it or doing whatever and they illegally steal your car?
Right.
No, you wouldn't want that, right?
It to me, when you put this on paper and you say it the way you said, it's like, I don't understand why people didn't understand this going to the voting booth. Now you've got cities like LA becoming a sanctuary city. I would actually like to know, maybe your friends in LA or someone who is watching from LA, please tell us how you actually feel about you not having a voice.
Wow, this has just been such a pleasure. I'm such a lucky boy.
In determining whether or not you should be okay with allowing illegal immigrants to just set up shop in your city, in your home.
Well, and then here's the other one. They want to ban guns because people carry them illegally, and we want gun safety and all of this, and want to abolish the Second Amendment and all of this because of gun violence. Well, wait a second. They're illegally carrying guns, and so you want to get rid of that, but then guess what? There's people that legally carry guns, and so now you're putting them a part of the same conundrum. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, but also,
look,
some of the polarizing gun violence things have been a result of
illegal border. The border. They're coming in illegally with and getting guns. Think about it.
Well, I was going to actually take a shot at pharma.
Go ahead.
Because you've got a lot of people that are mentally unstable, or could be some hormone issues, which is endorsed by the left.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these gun violence issues that you're talking about could be a byproduct of the very thing that you're supporting.
You have legal people.
Just saying.
Here's the other issue, though. You have legal people carrying guns, and then people who illegally have guns. And they're trying to make it all a part of the same conundrum of, just guns are a problem.
Yeah.
And then they're doing the same thing at the border where it's like, oh, well, just open the border for everybody and let anyone come into our country and we'll solve the border problem because this is a welcoming country and all of this. Okay, America is welcoming if you do it legally.
Right.
America is okay with gun safety if you legally go through a class on how to use a gun. And it's not gun issues, it's human heart issues. Okay? So guess what? You ban guns, guess what happens? All the illegal people will still have their guns and will find ways to get guns.
Yeah.
And will still, just like the whole defund the police movement. You want to defund the police? Great job. Now you've just increased crime in America. You know? So I guess because I had bad service at a Mexican restaurant one time or a Chinese restaurant or a barbecue restaurant, I should just not eat those places, those types of foods ever again. Just never go to another barbecue because I had bad service at one restaurant. That's literally what people in America view it as. Like, oh, well, there was one bad cop. There's one bad everything in every career, job, place, restaurant. It doesn't matter where you're at in society. There's a bad something. There's bad pastors. There's bad ministers.
Yeah.
There's bad everything.
Yeah. That doesn't change our viewpoint on God.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, just opening the border because Kamala and Biden and everybody on the left, you just want to be lazy and let everybody in is ridiculous to me. And I don't understand that aspect that we're just opening, Pastor Anthony, the border to absolutely everyone.
Well, okay. So to that point,
you're allowing crime to just legally, in their minds, it's, they think that, we're putting a roof over their head. No, what you're doing is you're giving them everything they want so that you can steal elections.
Yes, but you also have to you have to talk the way that they talk, right? So if they're so wanting to do this and big government is the way to do this, then why do we have the Department of Homeland Security? We should just eliminate those jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, watch. But then that would change. Like, whoa, wait.
Well, and
Maybe
Jacob
we should
had
just
said,
do something
speaking
different.
of eliminate, that if you eliminate the blue cities in America, America is in the bottom 10 countries for gun violence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also if you removed some of those blue cities that, by the way, don't require voter ID, would Kamala have won a single state?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
No, she wouldn't have.
Yeah. So that's my point.
Wow.
Notice it was all the states that didn't require, again, illegal stuff, just like the border. And then they want to dress it up like it's all legal. Everything's legal. It's all good. The border's fine, this, that, and the other. Kamala did nothing with the border for how many years? And yet there were still people who were thinking and so brainwashed to vote for her.
I know. What's gonna be really interesting, Matt, is when we step into a place where now our justices, so our judges, are going to start being held
cracking down on this too. Yes,
and
they don't have a choice.
It's going to be a ripple effect there too in this new frontier, because as justices are now actually going to be held accountable for the way that they rule, or the way that they side on a particular situation, you're going to have a lot of things underneath start to get exposed and have to get addressed. Like, for example, 2020, like you were just saying, you're going to have to address voter ID. That's going to be addressed.
Yep.
You're going to have to address things like same-sex marriage, because that actually, the way that went through, unconstitutional.
Got to bring prayer back in schools. It's
Yes.
funny how the left always wants to talk about, well, let's honor righteous or religious freedoms, but yet the one religion that they want to get rid of is Christianity. So all the other religions, let's honor them. But guess what? If you say the name of Jesus or bring a Bible to your final, you're not graduating. And we've seen it.
So they got to address
It's
that
crazy.
too.
It's crazy. Like, I don't understand the hypocrisy that we've seen. And so, yeah, it's got to be adjusted.
And I think it's going to go back as far as 2001.
Oh, all the way back to 9/11.
Because
That's documents, legitimately.
You've got to address
Yes.
9/11.
Yes.
And all
100%.
all of this to say that, it is time now for people to have justice for the things that have gone on, but we also gives us an opportunity to have a path forward. Really, you got to get those things. You got to clean house in order to truly begin to set up and establish what God's been wanting.
Yeah. Before you close this out, I would actually just say that, like, there's going to be a lot of people who were labeled as conspiracy theorists that are probably going to have some truth that is revealed.
Man,
Think about it. And it's a fact. We could talk about so many things that people were labeled as conspiracy theorists, and going all the way back to 9/11. And legitimately, these are conversations that I am excited to have and for these to start coming to light.
exactly, man.
So, yeah.
This is awesome.
Close this out, brother.
Well, I'm excited for what's lying ahead and what's coming, and I know that you are too. And guess what? This is time as a game changer to truly go and be an impact and continue changing the game for your city. As always, this is Pastor Matt and Anthony. We love you guys, and we will see you at the next episode. And be blessed. We'll see you soon.